Hey, everybody. Just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about how we are going to uh, work things out for the rest of the semester and how the AP exam is going to play out. So, first, talking to you seniors, keep in mind, seniors, that your semester average was finalized at the end of the third 9 weeks. So, whatever grade you have or had at the end of the third 9 weeks is your semester average. So anything you do from here on out is completely optional. I'm going to put out a lot of information or a lot of assignments to do to prepare for the AP exam. And if you do them, great. If you don't, it won't hurt you one bit as far as your grade is concerned. Obviously, not doing anything would influence or affect how well you are prepared for the AP exam on May 12th. If you're a junior, then your fourth 9 weeks grade will be 100% completion of the review assignments. If you do them all, then you'll get 100. And so that shouldn't be too bad. And if that changes, if the administration says that since this is a senior level class that the juniors don't have to participate in the fourth 9 weeks, then I'll let you know. But at this moment, you do have a fourth 9 weeks grade, and it will be 100% completion based on whatever you do for review materials. If you're a senior and you scored anything less than an A for the third 9 weeks and you do wish to bump up your semester grade one letter, then any review material we do for the AP exam that focuses on third 9 weeks materials, that will be starting with U substitution all the way up through accumulation, antiderivative applications, rate in, rate out, stuff like that. Any review material we do focusing on that will be the assignments you need to do in order to bump up your grade one letter grade. If you're taking the AP exam, then we'll just wait and I'll give you those as we get to them, as we review. If you're not taking the AP exam and you only want to enhance your third 9 weeks grade, then I can go ahead and find some of those review assignments for you to complete to bump up your third 9 weeks grade. Just let me know. I am going to I have created Google Classrooms for AB and BC. I've pushed this out on Remind. If you have not already joined, which a lot of you have, but if you have not, there are the Remind codes or the Google Classroom codes right there. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I will do virtual Q&A sessions on probably Google Hangouts. And if you ask me a question about one of the problems we have done, if you've submitted your assignments in the Google Classroom, then I can easily pull it up and see what you have done. It will make it a lot easier for me to answer your questions. So make sure you join those classrooms if you are taking the AP exam seriously and if you feel like you're going to be asking me questions. So that's where you can submit your work, that I can easily find it. As far as the AP exam goes, the AP exam will be on Tuesday, May 12th, which that you knew. What you did not know, as far as I'm concerned, is the time of the exam. And at the moment, the exam will be at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is where we are. There are going to be 2 free response questions. First one is 25 minutes. That'll be 60% of your grade. And the second is 15 minutes, which will be 40%. After each question, you will have 5 minutes to upload your solution. You can upload it through either typing it and submitting it a typed document. I strongly recommend that, because this is math and we're not used to typing math, that you work it out on paper and take a picture and upload it that way. Supposedly, or they're going to try to structure this so that it is just as easy to take the exam on a phone as it is a computer or a Chromebook or any other device. It is open notes and open internet. So plan ahead and try to think of ways that you can take advantage of that. We will talk about that more as we get closer to the day of the AP exam. That said, even though it is open notes and open internet, try not to rely too heavily on that. Don't think that this means you don't have to study, because the people who write these exams are very smart and they will find a way to word them so that it's really not a huge advantage. So you're going to have to know the material. Don't rely too heavily on your notes. One of the things I've noticed as a teacher is that whenever I give open note tests or quizzes, which is pretty rare, a lot of students just don't study at all, thinking they have their notes, and then they spend all of their time looking for verification of the question in their notes, and then they don't finish. So make sure that you are prepared and that you don't rely too heavily on those notes. And then finally, what I expect of the exam, and this is 100% my hunch, I have not seen or read anything to verify this. It's just how I feel like it will be, because this is open notes, everything's going to be calculator active. You can check on the internet. There's really no limits to what you can do to search for help on these questions. So with that in mind, I expect the questions to be very heavily based on applications such as rate in and rate out, where they give you a function that represents something happening, and then they'll ask you questions about that thing. So we've done those with like the banana problem, the rate the bananas are added to a shelf and the rate they're removed. We did a gravel problem where the rate that gravel is dumped into a processing plant and then the rate that it's removed, and then they disguise the questions within the context of that. So how much gravel has arrived? You have to understand that that's going to be an antiderivative approach. And so they're going to ask questions that way, where a calculator is not really going to help you. The internet's not really going to help you much. And if it's not application based, then expect the questions to be based on a table of values, or where they just give you some graph with no explicit equation that you can punch into the calculator to help you. There won't be any questions, I'm guessing, where they simply ask you to find the derivative of a function, where they ask you to find the antiderivative of a normal function, because those are things that you can just punch in the calculator and write down the solution. They're going to find a way to word the question so that the calculator or the internet is little to no help, and there's a bee about to attack me. Whatever. Okay. And so just think about that because this is open calculator, open notes, open internet, that they're going to find a way to word the problems that's not a huge help. And then one good thing is that because there are only 2 questions and 40 minutes of work time, they're not going to be able to dive too deep into the heart of calculus. Everything's going to be more surface oriented. In previous years, where they had 45 multiple choice questions and 6 free response questions, they had plenty of time to get into the depths of calculus. But with only 45 minutes of work time, they're not going to be able to do that. So everything's going to be kind of on the surface, which is a good thing. But I don't want you to confuse that for easy. So they'll probably find a way to make it challenging as well. Wouldn't surprise me if there's 1 or 2 parts of these free response questions that really are kind of deep. But for the rest, I expect it to be a little bit more surface. We'll see how true that is. And so that is everything I wanted to share with you right now. Tomorrow, Monday, what's today? Today's not May, April 6th. Is where we actually start with our virtual learning. So the assignment's already on my calendar for y'all to be looking at. And we will hopefully be able to get this thing ironed out. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will be working with y'all later.